women have been panicking since Texas.
Since forever.
Since forever. That's a good point. But especially after Texas disabled Instagram's filters.
Oh, no.
Do you ever use Instagram filters?
I used to.
Yeah.
I used to. And then I had a point in my life when I was just like, oh, no, I don't want to. And then I just stopped. And now all the pictures I post have no filters.
I have no idea what a filter does, really.
It just like adds, well, different filters do different things. Some are like aesthetic, like they'll change the color palette of the picture.
The only ones I'm familiar with is when my son gets hold of my wife's phone and he puts like the strange ones that squish your face and he sits there.
Oh, yeah. Some of them are really funny.
Right.
Like they'll put like ears on you or change your hair color, or, like make you an alien.
Give you a beard.
Or like turn you into a baby or turn you old. Like they're really fun, actually. But some are like, so actually I have a friend who always uses a filter and it's like plastic surgery, like shaves you, makes your jaw look nice, changes your nose, like puts makeup on your eyes and makes your lips bigger. So basically turns you into Kim Kardashian.
Right.
And she always would take pictures with that. And then recently she asked me, like, should I get lip fillers? And I told her, no, your lips are perfect.
Stop using the filters.
She's very beautiful. And her face is like, she's Macedonian. She's like, has a beautiful face. So I told her, like, your face is perfect. Just stop taking pictures with the filter and you'll see what I see. Like, I want you to see your face the way I see it.
That is really interesting. And the reason I'm bringing this up now. This actually happened at the beginning of last month, but it seemed to have flown under the radar. Most people on the internet didn't notice that this had happened because obviously it's quite a localized phenomenon. But the reason I brought this up with you on because I wanted a woman's opinion on Instagram filters because I'm a man and. Like as Josh has pointed out in his latest contemplations, sex is binary, and this cuts me off from an entire world of experience, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing with filters, I first of all, I don't agree that the government should interfere with this kind of thing.
Well, I'll explain why they had to in a minute.
So that'll be like a different conversation.
Yes.
But with filters in general, like, so the main users of social media are younger women who are still developing and developing especially their self-esteem and confidence. And so if you're very used to, like, you know, a teenage girl, average teenage girl is very insecure. And so if she puts on a filter and looks amazing with the filter on, she'll be very ashamed or scared to show her real face. And she'll never have the imperative to develop self-esteem to show her real face everywhere and appreciate its own beauty.
But also she'll get a distorted view of herself as well, right?
Exactly. And a lot of, it's kind of like makeup where I don't have anything against makeup except, you know, it's like toxic ingredients. But with, you know, women who use makeup every single day to the point that it transforms their face and they feel physically, emotionally incapable of showing their real face, even just to go to the store, I think that's unhealthy.
I agree. But just to finish why I'm bringing this up, it's because there really is, as Josh has gone through in possibly unnecessary detail, but you know the times that we're living in now, so maybe it is, why there are dramatic consequences of being male or female on adult men and women. And one of those things is that women are judged by their looks, whereas men tend not to have that problem, which is why we can get away with being ugly.
Can you?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I've been getting away with it my whole life. This is just not a problem for us, really. We've got other problems. But if you'd like to support us and find out what those details are, as if you don't know probably, but you go to the website and check that out. But anyway, so I thought there was some interesting points about women's self-perception, because I do think that makeup and social media are actually changing that in a way that's not healthy. I mean, this was something when I was researching this, I found this fascinating. 62% of women apparently think they're prettier than their best friend. Isn't that interesting? So most women think they're prettier than their friend. So,
well, I wonder how they did that study, or like what question did they ask to get that survey answer? Because I don't know, or like who did they ask?
But they just polled a random selection of people, I understand.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting. And so
Cuter than thou.
yeah, but isn't that fascinating? But the question though, and like you were saying about your friend from Macedonia, right? You see her like normally, but maybe she only sees herself through the reflection on Instagram, right? And so it could be that a lot of women are saying, well, I've seen my Instagram and I've seen you in real life. Actually, I am cuter than you.
I think
But
it's
it's not
also a
true.
brainwashing because of Instagram face.
Yeah.
Because Instagram face is.
Do you mind if we put a pin in that? Because I've actually got that in
Okay.
this segment.
Oh, okay.
It's all right, because again,
all right.
you're a man. You don't know what Instagram face is, do you? No, of course you don't. And I didn't either.
Yeah.
But so this is what was interesting about this is that the psychologist doing this, the same survey found that only 52% of men thought they were better looking than their friends. And they say, quote, this suggests their feelings on this might be more in line with reality. That's not my quote, that's their quote.
Interesting.
Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, I wonder, like, what does a man think of when he's judging? Because, like, women always, judge beauty. Like, okay, this looks cute on you, this doesn't. But I wonder how often men think, like, oh, my friend looks attractive today. Like, you don't really. I don't know how often you think of that. So.
John, do you ever think that?
No.
No, neither.
So, like, the question they were asked in this. It was more like out of the blue and something new for them to think about that they never thought about before.
Quite possibly. But anyway, the point is, it's no secret that social media is damaging the way that women think about themselves. If you go to the next one, there's just been numerous studies. There's just one I pulled up from 2018, where women who actively engage with social media images of friends who think they are more attractive than themselves report feeling worse about their own appearance afterwards. A new study shows.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I know.
I'm so
Who
shocked.
could have imagined? And I totally empathize, to be honest. Like I spend a lot of time painting geeky little miniatures on my Instagram, and I follow loads of art accounts that do this amazing job. Like they are an amazing artists. And I'm looking at what I've painted, and I'm looking at what they've painted, and I just want to go and kill myself. Right, and so and I'm thinking, okay, but that's just with my little miniatures. If I was like a teenage girl and I'm looking at these unbelievably beautiful
Models.
models, and they've got all these filters, and I saw
Photoshop.
yeah, and
all
they
these things.
like spend like 4 hours like lining up the shot, and then they get it, and it's that one thing that it's not natural, it's not real, and yet these teenage girls are looking at it going, I could never look like that. It's like, well, basically no one looks like that, so I can actually totally empathize.
Yeah. It's like, it's a balance, because on the one side you also have the body positivity movement, which, it's trying to show normal women, but it's like, okay, well, this is also another extreme. It's okay. Here's the thing with Instagram face, and it's so relevant now because I can't talk.
Okay, well,
without bringing it up.
let's skip over the next two links to the Instagram face. So this is something. If you can scroll down just a bit, so you can see the title of this. So this is an article in the New Yorker talking about it. Do you mind if I just read the description of what they give for
Sure.
Instagram face? This is fascinating, right? So there seems to be, they say, one of the oddest legacies of our rapidly expiring decade, the gradual emergence among professionally beautiful women of a single cyborgian face. It's a young face, of course, with poreless skin and plump high cheekbones. It has cat-like eyes and long cartoonish lashes. It has a small neat nose and full lush lips. This is what they describe as Instagram face.
Like Ariana Grande, basically. They all have the same face.
Yeah.
And weirdly, like when I talk to, like guy friends and like
Yeah.
men that I know, none of them actually prefer this face. So that's really interesting. So this is what I call the democratization or the Marxism of beauty,
Right, okay.
because Instagram face can be bought with money, and so it's more democratic, whereas real beauty is very elitist. You're either born with amazing bone structure and great hair and nice legs and all these things, or you're not. Even that is kind of false, because it's more related to your health and things like your oral posture and your development. So if most people, if they just fix their nutrition, they can access the best looking version of themselves.
But you are right. There's a kind
There
of
is an
deterministic,
undemocratic
Yeah.
distribution.
Yeah.
And in the past, you would spend most of your day looking at ordinary people in your life, like that you meet in real life. You wouldn't spend all day looking at people who had won the genetic lottery.
And not only
You know.
won the genetic lottery, they've got the world's best propaganda department, which is their own
Right.
social media feed.
And you know, that would still be better if all the women we saw on Instagram were naturally beautiful, gorgeous, and you just saw that all day. That would still be better because that at least shows real features
Yeah.
that are not robots,
Yeah.
like plastically implanted.
Even if it was in favorable angles at every time,
Well-
it would still be better than.
When I was younger, I used to watch Miss World with my grandma.
Right.
Like we would watch like in the Miss World pageant, you'd have girls from all over the world, from Africa, India, China, America, Sweden, and they all looked very different from each other, but they were all equally stunning in their own way. And there was no easy way for you to say like, oh, Miss Sweden does she look better or worse than Miss Japan? It's so difficult to say that because their features were so different, but equally stunning. And I think today we don't really have that where, you know, people are trying to
Homogenization.
homogenize their ethnicity
Yeah.
to match Ariana Grande.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they point out about this actually, how it is like they say it's white, but it's not really.
It's not white at all. Ariana
No.
Grande turned herself half black.
Yeah, it's a kind of like beige sort of, you know, like there's
Yeah,
it's indeterminate.
it's not human.
Yeah, well, that's exactly the sort of cyborg face.
And it ironically makes them age far faster.
Does it?
Because what happens when you inject a filler, even if they say like, oh, it's all natural, it's
Yeah.
not natural because it's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And then when you inject a filler into your skin stretches. And then eventually that filler supposedly dissolves. Then that skin is left over. It doesn't snap
sags,
back.
yeah.
And then most of these women are on these stupid vegan diets on top of it. So they're not getting the collagen, they're not replacing the saturated fats and the B12 and biotin, etc. You can't take these things in supplements. It's fake. So what they're doing is they're depleting their nutrients. And then so when the filler dissolves, they actually look 10 years older than they actually are. And so you have this phenomenon of 23-year-old girls getting filler so that they end up looking like 40-year-old women trying to look 20. So,
And how can a 23-year-old think they need cosmetic surgery?
well, there's this propaganda going around that if you start early, you can prevent aging because it's easier to prevent it than to try to correct it afterwards, which is it's a complete lie.
Is that from the plastic surgeons themselves?
Yes.
Yeah.
They
Must
hire
be.
they hire beautiful women to go on social media and create these reels and TikToks and
Yeah.
become influencers to tell young women that you should get these fillers now because it's easier to prevent aging than to correct it. That's completely false.
But surely you prevent aging by having a good diet, getting lots of
Yes.
sleep, and not smoking.
Yes, that's the part that they won't tell you because like the if you really are interested in prolonging your beauty as far as it will go, like the best way to do it is to just make sure you're properly nourished. And a lot of these women are like starving themselves. They're drinking coffee for breakfast. They're eating like salads or they're eating, you know, very little protein. They think they're getting protein from chickpeas or something. And the best example is Paulina Porzikov.
I don't know that.
She used to be a supermodel, and she had absolutely perfect bone structure. She went vegan, and now she's like my mom's age, but she looks 20 years. She looks like she could be my mom's mom.
Oh, really?
And my mom's had no work done. Like she barely even wears makeup. It's like,
So are we saying eat the animal fats?
yes,
Good.
I encourage all girls to eat the animal fat.
But anyway, yeah, I'm totally on board. I'm generally the sort of person who I've been doing the keto diet for like a year and a half, and honestly, I just feel great. I just feel great. I eat loads of meat,
Just
you know, small portion of like, you know, low carb veg and stuff like that. And I just feel really good. Anyway, so what I find interesting about this though is that they're actually trying, like the plastic surgeons, like they say here, the celebrity doctor came in and said if they were interested in looking better and wanted to know what an expert would recommend, they would like get a Snapchat photo with a filter called something called Facetune,
Oh, yeah.
and take a photo of it. And then they would try and sculpt their face to match the filter. So they've got this Instagram face in real life.
You know, it's so tragic. If most of these women just looked into like correcting their oral posture, that would probably fix a lot of bone structure issues as well. But, Dr. Jonathan Mew, he's not famous. Like, not enough people know about him.
I don't know.
But, oh, you don't know. Okay.
No, I don't. Tell me.
So, orthotropics is the field that studies how the shape of the face is affected by your oral posture. And
sorry, is that the way you set your jaw or something? Is it?
Well, what happens is a baby, when it's breastfeeding, the breastfeeding trains the baby to place its tongue firmly on the palate of the roof of its mouth, and that guides the bones of the face to develop in the proper symmetrical way.
Oh. Okay.
But what's happened is more and more babies are not being breastfed. They're being bottle fed because women go to work. They don't have enough time, or they don't have proper lactation training, or like they don't think it's important, or they give the babies a dummy. And all of these things, bottle feeding and dummies, they cause the baby to not develop that proper posture. And then that leads to like poor teeth development, poor facial development.
I've let my son use a dummy.
And then another thing that happens is a lot of young children, like babies and toddlers, they get allergies. Some of these are side effects of vaccines. They get severe allergies and they can't sleep with their mouth closed because they can't breathe through their nose. So when you're sleeping with your mouth open, your tongue is not putting that pressure on the roof of your mouth. And so what ends up happening is you get an underdeveloped jaw, and your nose is like the wrong shape or something, or like your cheeks don't develop properly. Like, so I was reading this by Jonathan Mew, and like I was reading how orthotropics around the world, how they've helped a lot of people to correct not only their breathing, but also their face shape.
I hate to cut you off because this is very interesting. I had no idea about any of this.
If anyone wants to look it up.
Yeah, I had no idea. But anyway, So on the 11th of May, Texas was forced to tell Meta, the parent company of Instagram and Facebook, to disable their Instagram filters due to facial recognition laws and the collection of biometric data. It wasn't anything to do with women's perception of themselves. It was because it was being alleged that this data was being collected illegitimately without the consent of the people who were using them. Now, Meta said that that's not what they did, but they had to disable it for the duration of the lawsuit. And Facebook said, well, look, we don't do that, but that's what we'll do. And influencers generally took this quite badly. It was remarkable, actually. You can get to the next one. So you've got lots of influencers who are complaining and saying, well, look, some of us are okay with our faces being mapped and our data being shared that way. And if you get to the next one, again, you've just got this lady ended up privating her account, so I had to get an archive of this tweet. But as you can see, at the time, I had nearly 60,000.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah. Texas really said no abortion, no plan B, and no Instagram filters. F you and your hot girl summer. Yeah, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's like, young women are saying, well, we don't feel attractive unless we can use Instagram filters.
Yeah, that's really sad.
Yeah. And so when a legal issue that's not related to how you feel comes along, and if you get to the next one, again, it's just the copes. We're just smoothing out blemishes. It's like, well, why? Why are you so bothered about the blemishes on your face?
Well, here's the thing. It's not normal for you to always be in the public eye. Like,
yeah.
Before social media, your face wouldn't constantly be in front of everyone every single day. And so
yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, so if you had a pimple, or if you're
like
not having a great skin day or great hair day, it doesn't matter. You're just going to work, or you're just going to do your daily errands.
Yeah.
You're coming home. You're not broadcasting your face to 10,000 people.
Can we get to the next one, John? This is exactly what women were saying. If you can get that picture up. This is just comments on Instagram where it's like, that's it, boy. You notice that some filters were missing. Guess we're all ugly again. It's like, well,
not really. Not all of us.
But it's not that you were not ugly in the first place. It's that you were lying. I hate to say, if you're...
Yeah.
And it's mad. And if you can go to not the next one, but the one after, in fact, because we're running out of time. I mean, can you grab these pictures up just so you can see the difference? Like, look.
Oh my gosh.
like, you get to the previous one, sorry, the other one. I mean, just, and then go back. Like, come on. Come on, you are lying. This is deception. You know, this is like me printing out like my bank statement and adding a few extra zeros at the end and then going to the bar and saying, look, I'm a multi-millionaire. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it's like what happens when you turn yourself into an influencer based on beauty, right? Like you feel that you have to match a certain look, and it's really tragic that this woman felt the need to change her entire appearance because she probably felt that she probably is not very confident in herself.
yeah.
And doesn't appreciate her own natural beauty, like
But
whatever her size, like.
Yeah, but also like there's something to it that's like, I don't know. There's some emperor's got no clothes, you know.
Well, she doesn't look good in either of these pictures, to be honest.
No, but you can tell that the filters have done
It's like
the woman on the left is, I think, the most instructive one actually, because she's not very pretty on the right. She's not unattractive, but she's just normal. But on the left, she's turned into a supermodel because of the filters, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, but neither of like the pictures, at least on the right, she looks like a human being. You know?
Yeah.
So it's just very. I think so many young women want to be influencers, but they're, you know, our desires and our ambitions are not created in a vacuum. And there's this concept of mimesis that you want to do what other people around you are doing.
Yeah.
So I have a little sister and I like to paint. So suddenly she likes to paint. Like where does that desire come from? Like it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery. Yeah. So, you know, and she's actually a really good painter. So these girls, they don't have good role models. So they're looking onto social media and they're seeing this beautiful girl who's an influencer. They said, well, maybe if I should also become an influencer. And then, you know, they're copying each other constantly. It's like a meme.
But it's the self-deception that I have a problem with, because if they're constantly looking at themselves through these filters, and as you saw with the other ones, they're like, oh, well, I can't stand to look at myself anymore. I mean, one of them was like, well, I noticed you're not taking any selfies anymore. It's like, well, you were just lying to yourself. You know, you were living in a kind of fantasy world that was being artificially created. So you had a totally artificial view of yourself that is like we were saying about, you know, tracking to reality is miles away from reality.
Yes.
And so looking at your actual face is making you depressed.
That's really sad.
It's tremendously
That's the tragic
sad.
part.
Yeah, it's tremendously sad. It's deeply unhealthy. But anyway, let's just fast forward a bit, because by the 24th of May, the filters had returned. So, you know, good for them. They can go back to their world of self-delusion. But there were women who were saying things like, look, I would support a ban of beauty filters and Instagram filters, and I use them religiously, but not in this one, John. It was one of the previous tweets. But I'm also aware of how damaging they are. I struggle to view my own face without a filter on, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
If they were taken away permanently, I would honestly be very happy, and I think it would encourage everyone to have some proper self-love where they learn to adore their natural faces again. There's definitely something to this. It's terrible. But
if you appreciated that segment from the podcast, The Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content we have on the site, such as this article from John Tangney on wokeism and the rules-based order, with audio from Jonathan Crow for Silver Tier members. And if you want to follow what else we're putting out, you can follow us on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.